So South Africa's SA Agulhas II is more than just a ship. It's a floating laboratory, a training ground for future marine scientists and a key player in global climate research. Now the public has a rare chance to step aboard while the ship is docked in East London on the 14th and 15th of February before it sets sail for Cape Town on a demonstration cruise. Now, from cutting-edge ocean studies to Antarctic expeditions, this vessel is shaping the future of marine science. But what is it exactly that makes it so special? For more, we cross live to Sipha Kema in East London. Sipha, a good morning to you. I'm keen to hear all that you've seen and learned aboard.
Well, Naledi, we haven't yet gone inside, but we're about to as soon as we're done here so that we can also take a tour of the South African Agulhas. But as you mentioned, now you're saying what makes it so special, but you've listed all the things that make it so special. Now, this is one of the world's largest vessels, a polar vessel that, of course, brings supplies, but also equipment and research facility to Antarctica. Now, an area, or rather an environment that is really unknown, not just in South Africa, but across the world, assisting with that research there. But now, let me bring in the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and Environment. They're the ones that own this ship. Let me bring in one of the directors from Marine Environment Research. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashley Johnson, for joining us on Newsroom. And I must say, I mean, it is quite important. This vessel is quite important, more especially during this time where globally climate change and issues with the environment is top priority.
Yeah, and thank you, and good morning to everyone and your viewers. I think in terms of understanding the issues of climate and climate change, we have to understand that the ocean actually plays quite a driving role in all of this. There's a very strict link between the ocean and the atmosphere and what we see as people. And when you consider where South Africa is positioned, it's surrounded by all of this ocean space between here and Antarctica. So this vessel doesn't only carry the flag of South Africa, it carries the flag of Africa. We're the only African country that actually does work in that ocean that surrounds Antarctica. We're the only country in Africa that has a base on Antarctica where we do all kinds of research. Now, when you talk to the issues of climate and climate change and the link, this vessel is one of the primary platforms that we use as a country to go into that ocean space, do all the measurements we need, trying to understand exactly what the ocean is doing at different time scales, at different spatial scales. And you're talking about oceans as deep as 5,000 meters. Now, when you consider the Earth, and more than 72% of this planet is ocean, how can you not talk about the ocean within the context of climate change? Now, the kinds of research we do here from this vessel, we do environmental research, so understanding the physics of the ocean, the chemistry, how the ocean absorbs carbon. It's a big issue around climate change. The role of oceans have always been to absorb whatever is in excess in the atmosphere. So carbon traditionally has been drawn down into the ocean. But what we have done as humans in our industrialization period, we've pumped so much carbon into the atmosphere that even the ocean cannot maintain that balance. So it's trying its best, and what we're trying to understand is what are the limits? We're now seeing issues like ocean acidification. That's the kinds of research we do here. Too much carbon in the ocean creates carbonic acid. What can ocean acidification do? How is that ocean acidification being advected through the different oceans? And how is it going to impact our biodiversity? A country that has an amazing marine biodiversity. Tourism depends on it. A major episode of ocean acidification will wipe out your biodiversity. What impacts does that have? So this vessel plays a primary role in unpacking that oceanic role, in understanding what we as a country and a people need to understand about climate change, and how do we mitigate and how do we adapt our country to safeguard our people from all of this.
Absolutely. Mr. Johnson, you have just simplified something so scientific and really interesting to hear there, Naledi. And of course, as he mentioned that world-class facilities on this ship. We're talking about the various issues that are affecting climate change, and he spoke to the ocean life, the marine life, and how and what role it plays. Now, with that said, that opens up other industries now for young South Africans to pursue, especially during the time where we're dealing with issues of unemployment. These are the sectors that a lot of the young people are needed in to understand climate change and the roles that it plays, but also finding the solutions. And on this ship, Naledi, there's about 6 scientific labs and also 6 specialized labs. It can carry the capacity of having 100 scientists on board, as well as 45 crew members. So as you can imagine, that is quite important, especially within the role that it will be playing, not just for South Africans, as Ashley Johnson said, for the continent, but ideally for the world when it comes to the fight against climate change. Naledi.
Fascinating, Sipha, and we look forward to seeing more a little later on. Sipha Kema there speaking to us from the Eastern Cape.